And welcome back, folks, to part 2 of session 2. Or, wait, session 3. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. No, session 3. I'm sorry. Part 2 of session 3. This is the third session. Hello, Dave. Okay, so he had some trouble earlier when I just started, before I worked his feet at all, I just started throwing this full blanket at him as if I basically started where I finished yesterday. And what he told me is he didn't retain all of that at the finish, so it'd be smarter for me to go back in training and make this a little smaller and easier to help him out and repeat what I did yesterday to work up to slapping him with the blanket instead of starting with that. And you can see even this, he's experiencing enough anxiety that he felt the need to walk off with it folded up this much and just setting it there. So I need to respect that. And whether it's regression or not, it's hard to tell. But anytime your horse is stuck, you know, they can't always start where you finished the day before, especially if they're going through phases. And who knows, overnight he might be in phase 2 of this particular task right now, which is 40% of the time they have success and 60% of the time they don't. Now I made a mistake right there, and that's the reason. I shouldn't have left it folded up in that tiny little square because it was going to fall off. And you don't actually want this, you either want to take it away when he walks off or you don't want it to fall off, because what are you teaching him then? If you move, you can get things off your back. Nope. That's the opposite of what you want to teach a horse. But I kind of wanted to leave it there because I didn't want him to learn he could walk off and leave the blanket behind. Instead, I'm going to crowd him and walk away. It's better if I walk away than if he walks away. Good. Now you could say, in a way, I'm physically restraining this horse with my body. But I can definitely see a pretty big difference in how he feels today from yesterday. I don't know why. It doesn't really matter why, does it? You accept each horse as they present themselves at that moment in time and deal with the horse you have, not the one you wished you had. Now, another second part of that corollary, though, is don't treat your horse like it is. The second, treat it like you want it to become, so it will reach for that. So if you don't have a perfect horse, try and deal with it as if it's already the perfect horse and let it reach for you. And you just have to do that in such a way that you don't cause failure. Now this is exactly what I want, but I am going to throw out there, I think yesterday he was being stoic and not revealing his true feelings. He was tolerating what I was doing with him instead of accepting. Pretty big difference right there. And you know, we teach horses to tolerate, which you need to. You know, if I'm riding him, he needs to tolerate being bitten by a fly in his groin. He needs to suck it up, buttercup kind of a thing. You know, so yeah, he needs to tolerate stuff. But when I'm trying to teach him, I want to see the true him, so I can teach the true him, not who he's pretending to be. Okay, so something has changed. So in a second here, I'm going to give him another long release. And he just licked and chewed. Now, and he's yawning. I'm going to leave the blanket there. I don't really think he cares about that blanket. Good, good. Now, he might have been coming over here not because of me, but because that gate was open. There's 3 magnets for horses. The most powerful magnet is another horse. The second most powerful magnet is a gate. And third magnet is human. If you have a horse and a human standing at a gate, there's that horse on the other side is definitely going to be standing at that gate. No doubt in my mind. Good. And when you're doing arena work with a horse, if it's an outdoor arena, even if it's an indoor, if there are other horses in a direction, as you're heading in that direction, your horse is going to be different than when you're going away from those horses, because those horses are a magnet. If you're trying to do perfect circles, your circles are not going to be perfectly round if you wait and don't anticipate that they're going to try and head toward those horses and get sucked toward them. So you can actually use other horse positions to your advantage to enhance your communication with your horse. Say, hey, think about me, not them. That's an opportunity. Oh, and he was just... No, that's flies. I thought he was examining the blanket on his back. No, he was dealing with flies. Okay, because we're getting at a point now, and I can see some baby greenheads getting on him. So I'm going to put a halter on him and give him a thorough fly spraying, not the half-hearted one I gave him at Liberty, because I don't want him to be distracted by the flies. Good job. Thank you for coming to me away from the gate. Of course, the gate wasn't open, huh? Oh, there's a good gut sounds. So I'm going to be half training, half objective oriented. My objective is get plenty of fly spray on him in critical places on his body. So I'm going to be trying to train him and improve his feelings about it up to a point, and that is how much fly spray I can actually get on him. So you got that here really nice. So my hand is going to stay there until he quits, like that. Then my hand goes away. Good. I know that was hard. A lot of junk. Let it all out. So during that, I was actually using the lead line to cross over his back end and disengage the back end about every third or fourth step forward. I was suggesting that he stop. His anxiety was too much and he couldn't do it. Until I actually stopped spraying and held the bottle there. And then he could, with the bottle still held there, he could stop. And that's why I quit. Good job. I know that's hard. We got to keep spraying you with the hose every morning until you don't care anymore, and this will get better. You're okay. Good boy. Okay, got to do this side though. I haven't sprayed him at all yet. I'm just rubbing the bottle on him. Let's not get my leg tangled in that. There we go. Excuse you. Excuse you. The excuse yous are because he's trying to crowd me with his shoulder and run over me with his inside shoulder. Like right there. This is defensive behavior. He's defending himself from me. Excuse you. Excuse you. Thank you. Good. Good. There you go. Good. You sorted that out real nice, didn't you? Good. 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 You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. Good. 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 So one of the lessons here is it's okay to raise the emotions of a horse and induce anxiety. For one thing, they need to learn what to do with that anxiety when they get it for the future. Number two, they need to have less anxiety in the same condition over time. And number three, it allows you to give them the contrast between the high anxiety state and feelings and this feeling of low anxiety when they drop their head and lick and chew. Believe it or not, after about 3 weeks, the horse realizes it has a choice of how it feels in the same circumstances, and they go, I don't want to feel that way anymore. And all the anxiety goes away. So my goal is, over time, reduce his anxiety to 0. A little bit each day. But I did get plenty of fly spray on all of his body parts. Good job. And Angie and I were discussing earlier, a horse needs to learn what to do when things are wrapped around its legs and feet, and when it's dragging things, it needs to not be afraid of them. So doing things like what I just did, he kept stepping on lead rope. I've had it wrapped around his legs bunches of times. It all needs to become a point where he doesn't panic because of things down there around his legs. And I'm just taking the easy way out, where I'm not making it a specific lesson. I'm making it part of everything else I do. Okay, blanket. So this might be premature. I'll find out. But I'm going to start using the English pad, because I'm going to throw the English saddle on there again, yet like I did yesterday, as a precursor for the Western saddle. And just like yesterday, he's not giving me any indication of being any concern with things up here until I get to the saddle up there. Well, actually, I found out yesterday he did have concerns. And what did I do about it? I guess I should repeat that today, shouldn't I? I use this mounting block to get up higher. Do I want to get on a horse that is afraid of looking back over its shoulder and seeing something up here? His head just came up, his ears came on a mini alert, and he's going, what's going on? So just having my hand up here in this position gave him a feeling inside he didn't really like. So you need to make sure your horse is good. And I mentioned yesterday, a good way to do that if you've got a horse with a particular problem is go saddle up another good horse and come in here on top of that other horse and interact with this horse on top of that other horse. It makes it easier for your student horse, because he's got a buddy horse in there with him, and you can be up there behind this head any place you want on that other horse and make it really nice. And you can lead him around on the lead line and pony him. That's all good stuff. Okay, so he seems pretty good on this side. I'm going to do something that I do usually later. I'm going to throw this. Now he might spook violently to his near side, and he didn't. So I needed to be out of the way just in case. But I also want to desensitize his undercarriage and his belly. I've gone to jumping shows, and I've watched horse over jumping a lot of things, like they clear 3 foot by 2 foot. Why are they over jumping and putting in extra effort that's unnecessary to clear that height? They're afraid of the thing they're jumping over. Nobody desensitized their undercarriage. They're great jumpers because they're jumping out of fear. And they've been spanked to make sure that they don't balk and stop before the thing they're afraid of and just fly over it. Well, that's kind of not the best way to do things in my book. So we're going to do the old thing with this pad that I did with my blanket yesterday. I'm going to pull this over his ears. He had a problem with being a little head shy and ear shy. I'm going to put that right behind those ears so he can feel it. Kind of like where a bridle, the headband of a bridle goes, not the brow band. And provide that little stimulation. And he's got his head up a little, and he doesn't really care for that. And then he drops his head, and he's licking and chewing, so I take it away. That was beautiful. Beautiful smoke. And there's a huge yawn. That's another big yawn. So, and this is exactly what I'm talking about being stoic. It appears like he doesn't mind me standing up there and messing with this blanket up there a lot, but when I quit, he has to let all kinds of anxiety out. Huh, where'd that come from? He's hiding his true feelings from me when I'm doing it. He's tolerating it. It's kind of like, if you have always been restrained with a halter or a bridle and people did things to you and you had no choice, what do you learn? To be a victim. You learn to shut down, go in a happy place mentally, and tolerate it while they throw things at your body. It doesn't mean you're desensitized. It means you're shut down. There's a difference there. And this is an example of him just accepting, tolerating, not showing me his feelings until I quit. This emphasizes again why the quit is more important than the doing. So we're going to repeat that until he doesn't have any anxiety. And I know he's got some soreness up here, probably caused from stuff inside. That's all okay. He's been tolerating it for who knows how long, I don't know. I've had multiple vets tell me that some of this stuff is caused in the birth canal and the birthing process, and because we don't have a system set up where we actually go over the horse's body entirely, find and fix things when they're a week old, or better yet, 24 hours old. We just make sure they're standing up okay, and they seem to be okay in their nursing. Okay, so again, he seems to be tolerating that. Now his head is not down here, sleeping, bored out of his mind while I do that. So that's a little note to self. It might be that this guy doesn't show his feelings. And there his head went up pretty darn good. He doesn't really care for that. And there drops his head. Because he dropped his head, I'm going to take it off and see what we get from it. I didn't turn my back. It would have been better if I walked away. That was a half-assed release, wasn't it? You do have a leg cocked. You're not doing too bad. Ears are in a weird position. Then there goes a lick and chew. And there he drops his head. And now, I liked that a lot. He's definitely not holding me personally accountable for the discomfort I'm inducing. And it's partly because of my quit and my passive leadership I'm applying. Good. I love how you think, but I don't like that you're hiding yourself from me a lot. I was pretty surprised when I threw that saddle on and you took off yesterday. I did not see that coming. I'm here, Smoke. You with me? Good. Good. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm very abusive. Yes. Good. Good. apologized for that, but I'm going to do it again because I let it slip down too far. Matter of fact, the other blanket would be better for that. It's always better. This is not the blanket to use for that exercise, is it? Okay, let me go get the bigger blanket. Now, I'm doing a lot of things here that I don't necessarily do with every horse. I give a horse what they need from me, and most horses, this third session, already be on their back walking around in this round pen. Well, the first session was odd because of the trailer and all that, but anyhow, so he needs more up front in a different way to help him through something. I got to give that to him. This isn't about me and my schedule. This is about Smoke, and what does Smoke need from me to learn the most he can learn and to be the best he can be. I'm still here, Smoke. I'm still here. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. You're okay. I see an eye. You got her done yourself. Come here. You're okay. You're okay. Good. 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 Now that's a nice mild way to raise a horse's anxiety and then let their anxiety come down and raise it up and let it come down and let them practice going up and down like that. Not much there? Huh. Nothing. What? Pretty quiet, Mr. Smoke. He's kind of tuned out. He's not here with me this second. Well, so I'll bring him back by moving around. Good there. And now I threw this mounting block between his legs from his offside to his near side. Or wait, no, I threw it from his near to his offside, didn't I? And so now I need to make sure I do it from the other direction. Head goes up when I jump up and down. It's a good thing to note. Ears come back. He's not bored. He should be bored eventually. Good. There, that caused the lick. You swallowed a lick and chew. He started to, and then he went, okay. So in that case, I am confident, or at least to a point where I think I can set the English saddle on his back today without him walking off. I'm going to go ahead and try that. And out of respect, I'm not just going to throw something at his back. I'm going to let him look at it first. And, you know, a horse at a certain point in their training shouldn't even care. They're going, you put that on me, put it on me. Let's get her done. And he just voted with his feet right there. Good. He quit. I want to walk away. So you got feelings about that. And you don't like to show them until They really crank you up on you. Now, he did not drop his head or lick and chew. Not sure what this is about. I mentioned yesterday I've never seen a horse with this particular problem. I've thrown saddles at unbrokes a couple thousand times and never had him walk away. But he's got a problem with this up here, and I can't duplicate it without a saddle. Although, the beginning of today, he did respond to the blanket. So he's got feelings. His head is up. So I need to help him with those feelings. Now, if he's got strong feelings, he ought to let those out. There's a chance the blanket on his back is preventing it. Just does not look like a horse is holding in strong feelings. Interesting. Now, do I know for certain that me taking this blanket off his back allowed him to drop his head and relax and is now going to come to me? Huh? Huh. Okay, so the implication here, and I don't know this to be true, but I got a little experience. The implication here is standing here doing nothing, he's got some discomfort in his back. And anything that focuses there reminds him of the discomfort that he's mostly ignoring. You get, I got discomfort in my neck right now all the time since I was 35. You don't want to hear about it, but my point there is, with horses, I'll give you an example. Horse has a sore back. The first thing they're probably going to do is you go to cinch them up, and they're going to want to walk away. If they're in cross ties or restrained, they're going to start tap dancing their feet. They're going to be moving around a lot, and they might reach back and try and bite you. That's the first sign that they have a sore back. You take it all off, and you might even be able to run your fingers down there and not even see any response, especially if it's small encysted strongyles. A bad case of that, the tissues underneath the back muscles are sore and inflamed. And so, anyhow, the second symptom with a sore back is going to be after at first, they might not even want you throwing the saddle on. Then they're not going to want you cinching up. The next thing is you're going to try to mount the horse that's always stood still for mounting, and they're not going to stand still for mounting anymore. They're trying to tell you, when you sit on me, it hurts more and I can't ignore it. So there's a possibility that steady state, he's got some soreness in some way that I don't see when he moves. I know there's some further aft, and when I put something on his back like that, it's making it to the point where he's aware of it and he can't turn that off, because that was pretty clear. Angie said when I took that blanket off, he immediately dropped his head. That's, I say that's weird, but that's an indicator of, it's weird because I don't see any other discomfort, but he could be hiding it. And his back does not look like a horse with encysted small strongyles, nor does his coat condition. I mean, except for he looks strung out in the back and there's something wonky going on, and he's got the soreness back there at where his sacrum comes in to his spine. So I don't know. So the question is, do I want to work him through this and have him perform despite the discomfort that he seems to be telling me? Do I want to pretend he doesn't have it and it's my imagination? I can wait until the osteopath next Thursday. That's 9 days from now. And he's a couch potato till then. Well, that's what I'm asking. Well, the answer is it depends. It's not wrong to teach an individual, I know you're hurt, suck it up. Okay, I was an athlete all my life. It's like, I broke my knee, coach, walk it off. you know, and then when you're a soldier, which I did for 34 years, okay, it's like, oh, they shot me in my gut, it's a bleeding gut wound. Get up and throw a grenade. It's like, yeah, it hurts. Perform anyhow. So there's a certain amount of good things it does for you, but it can also sour the horse to being tacked to people and being ridden, if it's done in the wrong way, and I'll say forced. The way I'm doing it is I'm trying to turn him and say, learn to tolerate this, as opposed to forcing it. I'm asking him to accept it, making a decision himself, and that's a different perspective from his viewpoint than me forcing it. Forcing it is going to sour him. Asking him to accept discomfort, the only thing about that is he's already being stoic and not showing his discomfort, and I don't want him to hide his discomfort the rest of his life. I want him to be able to communicate to people and say, hey, that kind of hurts. And he's already not doing that. So, yeah, guess that answers the question, doesn't it, right there? Yes. Yes. Yes, I agree. Well, one thing I can do, and here's an interesting one. If he's got discomfort up there, and I want to teach him to stand for the farrier and pick up a foot and stand on 3 legs, does that change the entire dynamic structure of his body and the way his muscles are, and is it going to be uncomfortable if he's uncomfortable just standing there on 4 legs? So I might not even be able to work on stand for the farrier. Boogers. I'm getting to the point. Some of the most common problems I have, I get a horse here, especially if it's not an unbroke, but a problem horse. They come here and they have Lyme disease. They come here and their teeth are a mess. They come here and their feet are a mess. And what I should be doing is insist on a new dental by a dentist, somebody I designate, a farrier of my farrier, and an osteopath exam and treatment before any horse comes to me, regardless of whether it's unbroke or not. Because what happens is, cases like this, everything gets put on hold while they get to where they need to be physically and can progress in training. But I don't think there's so few people that if I turn them and say, okay, yes, I'll take your horse, right after you have this dentist do the teeth, this vet do osteo, and this farrier do the feet. I mean, I can look at the feet and say, okay, we don't need that, but
The feet are easy to tell.
yeah,
Feet, I guess, they will extend, but the osteopath, sometimes some horses can really internalize a lot of things, and because they're taught to do it, because they're prey animals, they have to hide it.
bingo.
Otherwise, they're dead.
Yep,
So I've seen horses
yep,
that would even have messed up shoulder big time.
yep.
So yeah, we had this situation.
Yeah, you can. When I get on a horse, I can feel it.
Yeah.
It's also very easy to feel problems in the head, in the mouth, but you can't always. I well, whatever. I guess we're still taping this, aren't we? Well, it's a good discussion for anybody to hear. This is the life of a trainer.
Those are horses.
There's no point in teaching somebody that has a physical issue. They're not going to learn as good. And he is subtly telling me something's going on. And I can see it in his movement, in his canter, that there's something odd.
You can even see it in his face. It's really like.
Yeah, the worry eyes. Yeah, yeah. I kind of assume a lot of times it's because of me. It's like, oh, shoot, I got to go to school again with that guy.
He likes you. He chooses to be here.
I know.
He could be over there if he
I know.
There's no lead rope attached to him that makes him stand right there. That's his choice. And he's still
But that's the power of uh, my leadership, the active and passive leadership. So,
he wouldn't want to be.
could you hand me a water in there, please? I don't have. I mean, you're welcome to some of that, but it's all refills.
I have plenty in my fridge.
Okay.
I will grab it.
Well, I'm thinking about putting this guy away.
Yeah.
Or I could ask him to get in the trailer. Matter of fact, I have to take him to the osteopath a week from Thursday. So I think he's going to go in that trailer. So do you know how to do that SOS release?
So, yes, I watched the video. I do a lot of things because I took a clinic on a T-touch.
Oh yes.
You're familiar with it?
I've read her books and I do them.
She's an amazing person.
Yeah, I don't like how she's trademarked common cowboy and Indian things that they've been doing to horses for 200, 300 years.
Okay.
It's like, I invented all this stuff. No, you assigned them fancy names.
There are a lot of people.
But she did go to the trouble of putting it all in one place. So I like that.
I think a lot of things that people claim to be taught that they discovered are not necessarily discovered. They're just there. You just happen to pick up on it and find that this is something, and maybe add your touch to it because you're a spirit person more. But with Linda Tellington, I do love her energy and how she kind of sees it. So
and I use her stuff myself. Yes, I mean especially ear tips, nostrils, stuff on the back, down back at the tail, at the rear end.
So when we went to the clinic, there was a lot of stuff that comes with stretches and everything else. I can give you a copy of what we got from there, which are kind of pinpoint bullets. It's really convenient.
Those things are nice. Videos and pieces of paper are great, but this kind of stuff is active learning, experience-based learning, and you shouldn't do it without supervision from somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yes, so there are some things that are adjustments, which you shouldn't mess with. And there are some things that just basically help. It's kind of like a massage.
Stretching.
Yeah, so with
massage. Yeah,
those
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of stretches, what you do is you don't go and click the bones like chiropractors do or anything. What you do is you kind of massage it and let it kind of, it's a natural movement that they're supposed to have, and it's kind of like massage more than I would say an adjustment. Adjustment, chiropractor, when they yank it, no, I wouldn't do that. You obviously have to have expertise. But those things you can kind of feel as you go along, and it's kind of like massage gently one day, and it's that I really do with Mojo a lot, and that's like positive stretches. There's a lot of parts that she can actually help kind of adjust their hip a little bit, and they do it on their own a lot of times. They just put some pressure and they kind of go into it themselves.
I'm going to turn the camera off. So what you're talking about is the difference between soft tissue and not soft tissue.
Like for instance,
And I don't know, have you ever heard of myofascial release?
yes.
Okay, so what you're really talking about is there is no harm. Myofascial release is steady pressure on bound up fascia. So if that's your problem, there's absolutely nothing wrong with applying pressure, steady pressure,